You want to change your mindset. You just don't understand why you often feel like you can't do a lot of things, you're not capable to do a lot of things, you can't commit to a lot of things, or you just don't like sometimes the way you feel about yourself. Whether it's physically, whether it's mentally, you just don't like that feeling, that belief that you can't do certain things and you're not the kind of person that achieves certain things, and you no longer want to feel like that. And essentially you want to love yourself more and commit to yourself more. And that is called limiting beliefs. You have a lot of limiting beliefs as far as what is the limit that you can do, what is the farthest that you can go. You don't see yourself accomplishing certain things or doing certain things even though you commit to them, because you have a lot of limiting beliefs. So in this video I'm going to talk to you guys about just limiting beliefs in a whole, where a lot of them come from, ways to deal with them, and different things like that. And of course, ooh, my chair. Here are the chapters. So first, starting out with limiting beliefs, I want to tell you that limiting beliefs make your life absolutely true based upon what you believe. So if you believe, I'm not pretty enough to do this, I'm not smart enough to do that, that becomes your life. It's similar to like a law of attraction. I'm a big advocate of like what you think, what you say, you attract, in a sense of, and then you attract and you honestly do, and it becomes truth for you, and then it becomes a confirmation to you, right? Oh, I knew I wasn't smart enough to get that job, or I knew I wasn't this, that. And if you think that way, you don't move past that. So then it becomes true for you and it confirms it for you. For example, let's say you have a limiting belief that, you know, you're not smart enough to get a certain kind of job, right? Or even forget job, make a certain amount of money. You're not smart enough to make a certain amount of money. What happens because you have that thought? You don't apply to certain jobs because you don't feel smart enough. You don't do certain things to figure out how to make money like that, or even change your income, because you're like, well, I don't know where to start and I don't know what to do, right? And then what does it do? It makes you not make more money because you don't figure out how to do that thing or apply to do that thing, or you know what I'm saying, put yourself in places and spaces to get that thing done, to i.e. make more money. So it starts a confirmation in your brain. See, it is true you can't make more money. Why? Because you're not making more. If that makes any sense. Similar to how they say you miss 100% the shots you don't take. That's like you telling yourself, I can't shoot. I can't make a 3-point basket. I can't make a 3-point basket, and you never shoot a basket. Of course, your mind, body, soul, everything is going to confirm to you, see, you can't do it. Yeah, because you didn't try it. You didn't put yourself in a position to even figure out if you really can or can't do that thing. And even if you did, you shoot one shot and you miss. See, I knew I couldn't do it. You apply to one job and don't get it. See, I knew I couldn't make more money. Right? You have to first realize that once you think something, it's going to become true for you. So that limiting belief that you have of yourself, what you can't do, where you can't go, who you can't become, first and foremost, realize it's going to become true to you. It's going to become absolute truth, because that's all you're going to limit yourself to do, to find out, to go. And another thing, a lot of your limiting beliefs come from the simple fact that you just don't care about that particular thing. But we convince ourselves, oh no, I do care about making more money because I'm struggling. I do care about losing weight because I want to be healthier and I want to live longer. I do care about, you don't. And the reason why I say this is, think of one of the most simplest analogies, right? Compare yourself to a drug addict. So a drug addict could be broke, have no money in the beginning of the day, but they're going to make sure by the end of the day, they get some kind of drug. I say that to say they're going to figure hell and high water can come over, and they're going to figure out how to do that thing. Why? Because they care about that thing so much. And I think you need to realize a lot of your limited beliefs of I can't do this, I can't do that, you're not even willing to figure out how to get that thing and make that thing important enough to you, because you simply don't care. Because we all can agree a drug addict really cares about drugs. So much so they'll lose their family, they'll lose their houses, they'll lose their money, they'll lose everything in the world just to get that drug and be on the street with that drug. And you may look at that person and be like, oh, that person on drugs, that person homeless, that person living on the street. How could they do that? And a lot of people wonder how. Literally, they're wondering the same thing about you. In a sense of, they don't see how you don't care about this thing. And you're trying to figure out, how do they care about this thing? And so I say that to say, it's like on a day-to-day basis, a drug addict cares more about their priorities than you care about yours. A drug addict does not have the limiting belief that they can't get a drug. They don't care what they got to do. They're willing to figure it out. But for you, oh, I want to eat healthy, but you know, with my schedule and then this, it's hard for me. Oh, I want to make more money, but I'm not smart enough. I don't know how. Oh, I want to gain weight, but you know, I don't have this, I don't have that. You have a million and one reasons on why you can't do that thing. And that's okay. Don't do it. But you have to realize a lot of your limited beliefs come simply because you don't care about that thing enough. You don't care about your goal as much as a drug addict cares about their drug. Another issue that a lot of people have is that it's easy to focus on the things that you can't do, right? And I seen this quote and it was like, if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree and a monkey by its ability to swim or something like that, you will look at them both as having unsuccessful lives. Because I'm pretty sure it's hard for a monkey to swim and a fish to climb a tree, but a monkey can climb a tree and a fish could swim. And I think sometimes people don't realize you put yourself in that position mentally. You're always focusing on what you can't do. What you can't do. And you look at life through you have this belief that I can't do this and I can't do that. So much so that you don't realize the things that you can do. You don't focus on and hone in on the opportunities that are constantly coming at you. The things that are constantly coming at you, because you don't see them as opportunities. You don't see them as ways to grow. You don't see them as anything honestly good, because you look at it from a standpoint of focusing on what you can't do, focusing on how somebody else made money, focusing on, and I know it does take time to really, focus on the things you can do. I'm not saying that does come overnight, but I feel like that is another problem when it comes to limiting beliefs, is that you put a limit upon yourself in your life, so much so that you compare yourself to individuals who, like I said again, they could swim, but they're fish. And I don't like saying you monkey. I say something else. I almost said a chimpanzee. That's the same thing. You are, oh my God, a scorpion, right? I don't think scorpions, they can't swim. You're a scorpion, right? You do what scorpions do. And so you're comparing yourself to a fish. Why can't I swim? Why can't I swim? Why can't I swim? Why can't I swim? And you're frustrated at yourself instead of looking at, okay, wait, I'm a scorpion. I got poison on me. I'm a scorpion. I could go fast. I'm a scorpion. Let me focus on those things. Pay attention to the things that you can do. Pour into the things that you can do. And I'm not saying it's in a way if you can't achieve more and you can't get more, and if you want to learn how to do something, you can't. But at the same time, I think a lot of times we compare ourselves to other individuals, and then we get frustrated at ourselves for something that we can't do, and we judge ourselves based upon that, and then we think we're unsuccessful. We think we're not beautiful. We think we're not smart. Based upon who? Like, for example, right? I make YouTube videos. I really enjoy this. I feel like I'm a pretty good speaker, right? I'm pretty decent at articulating myself, whatever the case may be. But if you judge me based upon math, based upon science, I'm horrible at science, and a plethora of other things, I'm probably not going to seem as educated. I'm probably not going to seem as articulate. I'm probably not going to seem as much as an individual that has that much knowledge in that thing. And I feel like that's something that individuals have to do. Like, pay attention to yourself. And one thing to help with that, I always tell you guys, but journaling, right? Getting your thoughts out on paper, expressing yourself, but really paying attention to you and figuring out, what are you good at? What can you do? Because it comes in the most subtle ways. Like, the reason I found out that I'm good at doing this, or I like doing this, literally I paid attention to me. I'm always trying to talk to somebody. I'm always watching podcasts. I'm always reading books, and I like sharing information. That's just me. I've always been like that. I could talk somebody's ear off for hours. And so I'm like, let me figure out. And it took a lot of work to figure out that I liked YouTube. And for a long time, I convinced myself I can't do YouTube. And not to get too much into me, but I started out as like a social media coach, a social media strategist. And I will always tell people, who say, oh, you started YouTube. And I used to always be like, but I can't talk about like growing on social media consistently enough in long form content. I used to always say I'm a short form content creator, right? I could do TikToks, I could do short form things, because I was judging myself based upon only talking about social media growth tips, ways to grow on social media. But then when I start paying attention to me, wait, I like doing this, wait, I like doing that. And then I tried this on my page now, which is more of a self-growth, self-improvement type of content, it worked. But it took me trying different things. And when I first had it, the belief of judging myself based upon making content about one thing, it didn't make sense. So I had to go to the drawing board, try more stuff, and then not have the belief that I can't do YouTube. I can't stay consistent doing YouTube doing that, but I could probably do it doing something else. We also have the fear of looking dumb. A lot of people, even including myself, that's why it took me so long to start, honestly and truly. We don't want to be beginners. Nobody wants to be a beginner, honestly and truly. Nobody wants to start, and we have a fear of looking dumb. But I've learned, if you have a fear of starting, if you have a fear of being a beginner, then you have a fear of being a master. Like I said, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So yes, on your first day, you might shoot 50 shots and only make one. All right, so the next day, let's make 2. Okay, the next day, let's make 3. But if you're so fearful that you're only gonna make 1 shot out of 50, you're never gonna get to that 50. Right? And I think once we become adults, where we're set in a certain mindset of like not trying things and not being perceived a certain way. Because as kids, if you think about it, how many sports did you play? How many instruments did you try? We tried so many things because it was an environment of growth. We kind of, as children, sometimes were put in a certain situation of like, not situation, but we were kind of taught like, yeah, you start like this and then you get better. Like even in high school, I started my last sport, lacrosse, when I was, I believe, a junior. Or was I don't know, but I was like 16, 17 years old starting a sport, knowing I'm leaving high school at 18, a year or two. But I did it I didn't have a fear of looking dumb. I didn't have a fear of looking stupid. And I think it's also because, if we be honest, it's other people starting with us, right? I have friends going to tryouts with me and stuff like that. But I think you have to stop that belief, that limiting belief of looking dumb and being fearful, which a lot of times we have as adults, because now we feel a thing of, I'm too grown for that. I'm too grown to just start. I'm too grown to look dumb. And I tell people all the time, like I said, if you don't start, you can never grow. But at the same time, you have to stop thinking about people's perceptions of you, because you can't change it. Sometimes you even doing what you think people accept, you doing what is normal, people still look at you as being dumb. When I first started growing on TikTok, which is where I first started my content creator journey and everything, people used to always ask me like, how do you post? And I used to be like, I take out my phone and I record and I post. And sometimes people used to think I was trying to be funny. Like, oh, like I'm being like, basically saying like they're being serious. Like, how do I post consistently? How am I not afraid of what people think about me, or how am I not? And the reason why I said that is because I literally just do it. Like, I literally just started like that. I didn't care what people thought about me. Because when it came time paying my bills, ain't nobody remember me. When it came time for me going on a trip, ain't nobody be like, okay, Shamaya, let me give you a couple $100 to get your hair done. And I also realized a lot of the people who I was afraid of being perceived by, I was afraid of looking dumb by, I wouldn't trade lives with them. That's another thing too. One thing I realized is nobody in a position you want to be in probably will laugh at you. Like another content creator like me, knowing that I started out as a started out not knowing how to do content and then becoming a content creator, I'll never look at somebody who's starting out with content like, oh, they're dumb. Oh, they're this, they're that. Why? Because don't get me wrong, there's a lot of growth potential on my page. We're going up. But I'm in a position where I've been doing this for a little bit, and I know what it takes to go inside of it. And I know how hard it could be. And I know how judgmental people could be. So even if somebody make a post, I'm like, you know what? Congratulations, girl. The first step. You get what I'm saying? Now, don't get me wrong. There are some people who are in a position you want to be and they'll judge you. But those are the people who are not confident in what they're doing because they're afraid of you taking their spot. Listen, with all due respect, you can't be me and I can't be you. So I can't make content like you and you can't make content like me, right? So even if somebody is, quote unquote, growing faster than me and they started after me, congratulations. I'm about to see you at the top because we both going up. So I say that to say I lost the fear of looking dumb. I stopped the limiting belief of looking dumb because I thought about it. The people who are perceiving me of being dumb, the people who, you know what I'm saying, they're not gonna matter. And with all due respect, even sometimes the people that quote unquote do matter, matter to a certain extent because it's still your life. And I remember seeing this quote one time and it really got me, or like this it wasn't even a quote, it was like this little ad or whatever little comic thing, and it was just showing someone's funeral, and the person was being buried and their kids were there, their family was there, and you know, people were crying and stuff, right? And one of the things that they showed like 5 minutes later, one of their kids was booking a doctor's appointment. One of their kids was looking at the itinerary for her party. One of the kids was, and to say that to say, it doesn't mean that people don't love you and they don't care about you. But after you go, their life is still going to go on. People are going to be at your funeral service. People who love you dearly will do anything to see you again. Like I said, booking doctor's appointments. People calling them, declining call, like so much so that because their life still has to go on. They can't stop their life just because yours stopped. So I realize I'm fearful of these people judging me. I'm fearful of this. I'm fearful of that. But at the same time, their life is gonna go on with me here or with me out here. So how can I feel dumb for them? And no matter what happens, their life is gonna go on. They don't care. Like some people may say it, oh, look at her sharing your stuff, da da da. But at the same time, nobody can feel you and genuinely care about you as much as you care about you. But when you have the fear of feeling dumb, you give that care for yourself to somebody else. Hey, can you care about me for me? Because I don't care about me enough. Can you hold that love for me? Can you hold those goals for me? That person like, girl, I got my own. You don't hand that to me? And we over here like, please, just hold it. Please. And these people like doing the Matrix. Hold that damn goal, girl. And you over here like, please. Because you don't want to look dumb. And one thing, when it comes to limiting beliefs, right? And it comes to like goals and feeling like we can't do certain things. And let's say it's a specific goal, whether it's to lose weight, whether it's to learn a new language or get a new job. You know, we have to break it down, right? I always tell you guys there's a difference between a goal and a dream. A dream is I want to make more money. I want to learn a language. I want to lose weight. A goal is I want to make $100,000 a year. I want to drive a 2024 Honda Accord or something. I want to lose 15 pounds. In a sense of it's something specific, it's something achievable, and you can figure out action steps to get there. And once you figure out action steps, sometimes that's what starts the limiting belief. So a lot of us have dreams and even goals, but the limiting belief starts when we look at the action steps and the work taken to get there. So let's talk about going to the gym, right? And let's say you want to lose weight, 15 pounds, right? It's a goal. I want to lose 15 pounds. So what do you have to do? Probably have to go to the gym, change your diet, get a certain amount of sleep, whatever the case may be. And the issue becomes, and sometimes the limiting beliefs start because we feel like we have to do something and we can't do that thing. Oh, I have to work out 3 times a week, and I don't think I could do that because I have to go to work, and then I have to do this and I have to do that. I tell people all the time, you're gonna do it or you're not. Don't like, and I know it can seem harsh. Don't sit around and be that person. I have to do this and I have to do that. And my grandma always says, somebody asks my grandma to do something and she don't want to do it. My grandma's very sassy at that. But my grandma always says, and she says since I was young, I don't have to do nothing but shit and die. You don't have to do anything. So one thing I've changed about my mindset about things, feel like I have to do something. I don't have to go to the gym. I get to go to the gym. I don't have to read. I get to read, right? In a sense of, I think a lot of times when we have this connotation that we have to do something, it becomes a chore. Like when your parents say you have to wash the dishes. And then it makes us not want to do that thing. And we build a limiting belief behind it and figure out all the reasons why we can't do that thing. Soon as you figure out you got to go to the gym. Oh, I don't have time to go to the gym because I have to do this, I have to do that. Girl, you done binge watched the entire season of Vampire Diaries again. You got time. But that limiting belief starts because we have the mindset of I have to do this thing. And another reason that changed my mindset, my grandma has been saying that my entire life, but as getting older, I had this boy who there is this man, I guess now at this point, right, I'm grown. I went to school with him for years. So we went to school together and don't give me the line, but I think in 2019, maybe even 2020. I think 2019, he got into a car accident. And he was always a boy that was dancing and just always just doing, he was cool, fun, or whatever. Got into a car accident and he was paralyzed from the waist down. And I say that to say he's been paralyzed for a while, and I'm sure physically, mentally, well, of course physically, but mentally, I'm sure he went through a very hard time, because also his mother subsequently passed. And I'm not sure if his mom passed before or after he got into a car accident, but I definitely know it was within that year, or it was a year. Like, it was a very short time period between him losing his mom, who I personally knew he was very close with, and losing his legs. And I say that to say, I'll never forget, one day he posted on Instagram of him at the gym. And he was doing like one of the lateral pull downs or something like that. He was in his wheelchair. And I say that to say, it put me in a state of, I get to. A lot of the times we don't realize the thing, like literally just getting up and walking and going to brush my teeth in the morning. Like, sometimes we feel like we have to. I have to brush my teeth in the morning because I want my breath to stink. No, you get to brush your teeth. And I think sometimes when we've had something for so long. We've known about the gym for years. We've known about eating healthy for years. We've known about, books and stuff for years. And a lot of these things become a chore for us, the things that benefit us, because that's also how we were taught as children. But in a sense of, I kind of try to change my mindset on it when I get to do this thing. So it becomes more of a want to do it, or more appreciative of doing this thing, because I lose the belief that I have to do it. Like my grandma said, you don't have to do nothing but shit and die. Literally, you don't have to go to work. You don't have to drink water. You don't have to eat food. You choose to do those things because of the benefits of it. But you also have to think about those things that benefit you to get to where you want to in life, and not have that limiting belief of, I have to do this thing. Because I feel like that holds you back too, because it becomes a chore. And as we all know, we don't like to do chores. So that's another thing that I had to change my mindset around things, because I really feel like it starts with your mindset, right? How you believe, how you feel about things, especially subconsciously, dictates whether you're going to do those things or not, and if you're going to stay consistent with those things or not. And one of the final ones I kind of wanted to talk about is feeling like you have to let go of you. I feel like one of the limiting beliefs, and it's a fear, it's another subconscious one, is that if you become you start to go after your goals and you become that person you always wanted to be and all the other stuff, I feel like there's always this mindset that you have to let go of you. Because what do people say? And even on my previous videos, or my videos in general, I tell you guys, pay attention to the music you're listening to, the TV shows you're watching, the people you're around. And I think the fear, the limiting belief is, I can't become that person. I can't change, because we feel like we have to do a 360. I can't listen to the same music again. I can't hang around the same people again. I can't watch the same stuff I watch. And I feel like that's a fear. So we have this limiting belief that we have to change ourselves entirely, and nobody wants to do that. And I actually had that happen to me when I was going through my little, I feel like every couple months, I feel like we all kind of go through it, like the whole, I'm gonna change my life and get better. And I was like, you know what? I'm stopping listening to the music I'm listening to. I'm gonna change the music. I'm listening to more podcasts. I'm not watching shows I used to watch. I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. And it was a thing of, I remember one time I was in a car and I was like, I'm not listening to certain music, whatever. And I had it for a while, for 2-3 weeks I wasn't. And then one day I felt like I relapsed. I started listening to the old music I listened to. And sometimes it was a little rah-rah. You know what I'm saying? A little rah-rah. And I felt like I relapsed. And I just start doing all the old stuff again. Like, if I'm listening to the same music, I might as well start watching the same TV shows. I might as well start, because I felt like I had to change myself entirely to become the person that I wanted to become. And I realized that's not what you're supposed to do. That's kind of like you trying to cut off the memory of your upbringing. I grew up listening to a lot of this music and watching a lot of these TV shows and hanging with these kind of people. And don't get me wrong, if things are very detrimental to your life, like if you're hanging out with people that are completely bad for you and completely, okay, that's different. But I'm saying there's people in your life that you know what, we probably don't have the same goals. We probably don't have the same, aspirations. And it doesn't mean you got to cut them off or judge them for it, but it's like, keep them at a distance, right? And I say that to say, when you feel like you have to completely cut those people off, and you start talking to them again, or you have a relapse. And because you convince yourself that, I knew I couldn't change, or I knew this was going to be hard. And because we have this limiting belief that if we want to change our lives, we have to change ourselves entirely. And I realized, no, There has to be a balance between the two, between the person that you want to become, the habits that you want to implement, and then who you truly are at your core. Like some of the music you've been listening to, your mom always listens to that music, your dad always listens to that music, and it doesn't necessarily make it bad, but maybe you need to consume it at a lower rate. So it's okay to integrate the person you want to be with the person that you already are. And I feel like to each his own, and finding that balance and what that means to you and what that looks like to you. But I always wish people would have talked about that more growing up, or people would have said that more, because my limiting belief was that I had to become someone entirely new. I had to become a new person, and anytime I resulted back to that old person, even if you're trying to be healthy and one day you eat unhealthy, it causes us to completely forget it, completely feel like, we can't be a healthy person. We can't. It happens a lot to us in the gym, right? Think about, you've been going to the gym consistently for, I don't know, a week or two. You miss one day, and it's like you miss 1 year, because you don't go back to the gym again, if you're lucky, for another month. I don't know about y'all, but it would take me like 2-3 months to go back, because I'm like, dang, I thought I was the person that went to the gym. Guess not. Might as well go back to the old me, instead of saying, you know what, I missed the gym today, and I might even miss the gym tomorrow, but I'm gonna go back the next day. Like, understanding that you're gonna have your highs and your lows, and things are gonna happen, but also, like, I don't know, I feel like there's the understanding that you have to learn as you grow and you go, and maybe there is a time period where you kind of will stop really listening to a lot of that music and watching a lot of those TV shows. But I feel like once you start doing something, especially in the beginning, like, don't have that mindset that you have to completely change. Like, eventually those things, if you put more beneficial things, right? If you put more quote unquote good things into your life, it will eventually fill you up, and maybe it will become like a this. But at the time period, obviously I am a big fan of, doing healthy habits more, listening to more quote unquote better music, or to each his own of what your definition of that is. But at the same time, I do realize that I don't have to do completely this and let go of me. And sometimes I do be in a car like, what? And then you know what I can do the next day? Listen to podcasts all day, and I'm still that girl, right? And I say that to say, like, don't have the limiting belief that you have to make a 360. Don't have the limiting belief that you have to completely change yourself. Like, start slow and understand that sometimes you will relapse, and sometimes you will. And honestly and truly, it's not even relapsing. Let me not even say that word, because relapsing makes you feel like now you're addicted again to that thing, or now you're on that thing. It's not even that. It's understanding that's who you truly are at your core, and you can't change that. And if anything, one thing I also realized is showing that being that person is okay. Being like that is okay. Like, that's the reason why I feel like I talk the way I talk and I do what I do when it comes to like my videos and stuff like that, is because when I first started making content, not on here, but like on TikTok and stuff, I felt like I was very cookie cut. I felt like I had to talk a certain way. I felt like I had to be a certain way, because I felt like people wouldn't get my message. People wouldn't understand it. And you know who the people who did not get my message and the people who didn't understand it was the people I was really talking to, the people like me. Because to them, they looking at my videos like, oh yeah, that's just another, yeah, they all the same. Because I wasn't talking the way I usually talk. I wasn't acting the way I usually act. Because I had a fear that if I'm becoming a new person, I have to act a certain way, and I can't be. But now that I'm animated with y'all, I talk how I talk, my little whatever. There's people who comment on my videos like, oh my gosh, you're so relatable. Oh my gosh, I get it. And a lot of times that's what people need from you. That's what you need out of yourself, like to get to where you're going and become the person that you want to become. But at the same time, don't forget who you truly are, where you truly come from. Don't feel like you have to conform to society or conform to a job or conform, you get what I'm saying, to a mold of a successful individual or an it girl or that aesthetic, because that's not who you truly are. There's some things that you want to get, but don't forget who you truly are, because there are going to be times you're going to go back to that. You're going to snap back to that. And you don't want it to feel like a relapse. You completely just forget everything, completely lose everything. Like, don't let go of that person, because that's you, and they deserve to go up and celebrate your wins and celebrate your just as much as everybody else in your life and everything else in your life, because that's the mindset. That's the person. That's your upbringing. And why they got to go in the corner? Why they got to go in the closet and be shadowed and be, because society don't accept them, people don't accept them. And the more you feel like the more you do conform, the more you do fit the box or whatever, the more people just like you feel like they have to do the same thing. That's what I realized too. Like, if I get on social media and I speak a certain way, and ladies, people who are like me, they're gonna think it's something wrong with them. Like, yeah, I gotta talk like Shemaya. I gotta be like Shemaya because Shemaya. But when I'm talking like this and I'm talking to y'all how I talk to my friends and being honest with y'all, people, I hope, who are similar to me could look at me and be like, you know what? Shemaya talk like me. Shemaya, oh, so I could go after my dreams. I could change my limited goals. I could, you get what I'm saying? Because they feel connection. And I feel like it will be more truthful to you and it will be more honest with you. So finally, with changing, having limits and beliefs. So I talked about some limits and beliefs. A lot of them do come from things such as your childhood. They come from your environment. They come from your circumstances, whatever they may come from. I think it's very important for you to put a limit and belief at like a top of a ladder and then just go down the ladder. Why? And you could go why 20 times. I don't feel pretty. Why? Because the girls around me who are pretty don't look like me. Why? Because the girls around me who look pretty have so-and-so. Why? Because they come from so-and-so. Why don't I feel, like, re-ask yourself, but why don't I feel pretty? That's them. Like, and it takes time. And I don't feel like everything will be answered in a day, but I like that method. Like, ask yourself why you feel things. Because sometimes things could be from your childhood. Things could be deep-rooted. Things could have multiple places that they come from, but just figuring out why, I feel like is a great thing for your limits and beliefs and the beliefs that you have for yourself. But like I said, ways to stop them. First and foremost, I like this method called spot, stop, swatch. So first spot it. Like when you like, I'm so, like nowadays, before I used to always be like, I'm so stupid. Like I would do something just forgetting, like walk out the house and forget my water bottle. I'm like, oh, you're so stupid. But then I started to change it. Now I say that, I'd be like, you're so stupid. And I'd be like, no, you just forgot. You just didn't know. And the goal is for it to become you just forgot. You didn't know. You forgot. In a sense of, my goal is to break these things down slowly until I don't say them no more, right? So first is you spot it, spot yourself saying it, stop it in its tracks as much as you can, and then swap it with something else. I'm a big advocate of really the swap too, because it's like, don't just be like, you spot it. Some people just spot it and stop it. Now, no, literally, because you knew what you were thinking, finish it. I just forgot. I just didn't know. Like a lot of the things that we say about ourselves are regular. I went out the house without a water bottle. I have a lot going on. I just forgot. You get what I'm saying? It could be little. One time I backed up my car a little bit too much. I didn't hit this little pole behind me. At first I'm like, I'm so stupid. I said, I just didn't see it. I genuinely didn't see it. Because I know if I saw it, I wouldn't have done that. But for me, the limits and belief is I'm so stupid. And like I said in the beginning, your limits and beliefs become your absolute truth. So if you constantly tell yourself, I'm so stupid, even playing around, you're truly going to feel like that. I'm ugly. Oh, this looks so ugly on me. Nowadays, I'm like, this just don't fit me right. This just don't look good on me. Because what you're saying is, if it looks ugly on you, somebody else could put it on and look better on them. That's all I'm saying. So spot, stop, swatch. Another thing is your environment, right? Changing, and this is to each its own. Sometimes it could be the people that you hang around that cause you to have limited beliefs, right? If they have limited beliefs about themselves, they're just gonna spread it onto you. If they have limited beliefs about where they can get in their life and what they can do, trust me, you're not gonna have much more beliefs than them. And another thing is too, also your environment. It's kind of like the things that you do, right? So if you have this limited belief of I'm not smart and I can't make more money and I say this all the time. What do you do when you can't find a restaurant for your birthday? You go to TikTok. You go to Google. Treat your limits and beliefs just as important as that. I have a belief I'm not as smart. I need to start listening to more podcasts. What are some podcasts I can find that can help me? And like I said before, don't have that mindset of, I listened to this one podcast and I didn't like it. I don't like podcasts. Maybe just that podcast. Try a different one. Keep trying. And keep trying. You tell yourself, I wish I was smart. Find books. I can't find books. Like I said, take your behind on a search and find. That's what I'm saying. Like, you have to change. That's a big thing with limits and beliefs. Like, don't think you're just going to wake up. Don't think you're just going to spot, stop, swatch, and it's going to change. Like, you literally have to give yourself some kind of ammunition. Like, to a certain extent, just saying, I'm just forgetful. I'm not dumb. I'm da-da-da-da. Eventually, your brain is going to be like, yeah, you are. And it's unfortunate, but you're the same person you were yesterday. Like, and it can start small. Literally reading 5 pages a day, 3 pages a day, listening to 10 minutes of a podcast do habit stacking, right? On your way to work, you know you got to go to work every day, you got to drive to work every day, listen to a podcast halfway of the distance. Like things that you already got to do, help with that thing. You know you like watching that TV show. Okay, well, when I watch my TV show, I know I want to work out. I'm going to do some squats. I'm going to do some lunges. I'm going to do some habit stack. You know, implement the habits. Try to implement healthy habits with the things that you already do. But like I said before, changing your environment, changing, you know, in a sense of the thing that you want, changing your mindset on that. If I want to become smarter, I got to read more books, listen to more videos like this. You probably should also follow me. As far as like self-improvement stuff, of course, and you know, just getting a better understanding of things. Because one thing you also have to understand with limiting beliefs is that you're always going to have a limiting belief unless you learn more. Like you don't know what you don't know. And a lot of times we have limiting beliefs because we don't know much outside of our beliefs, right? Like I said, if you're surrounded by people who have limiting beliefs, you're not going to think any differently than them. So you're confused on why you feel this way. I don't want to feel this way, and I wish I felt like this, and I wish I... Acknowledge the fact that you feel that way, and then make the necessary steps to change how you feel about that thing. So that means that you probably need to start finding out more information, watching documentaries, like giving yourself more things to implement inside of your life, essentially. And then, like I said before, try new things and try new beliefs too. Like I said before, stop, spot, swatch, but just try new beliefs. Like telling yourself, I can make $500,000, I can make $1 million a year, and being in a sense delusional with those things, but truly believing it. And I think sometimes it is sometimes hard, but figure out your limits and belief, and then what is a way that you could change that belief into something that's positive. Like, because we're always gonna have beliefs, but it's just a matter of you realizing, do you have an unlimited belief of the matter of what you can do, where you can go, or do you have a limiting one? Which is very important to acknowledge as well. But then trying new things. Like I said before, you don't know what you don't know, but then also you haven't done what you haven't done. Like sometimes you just need to get outside of your box, outside of your bubble, outside of your norm, and stop having the fear of starting and looking dumb and stuff like that. Finally, the limiting belief that things are always happening to us. I feel like a lot of times we always feel like, why me? If my life wasn't like this, I would do this. If my life wasn't like that, I would be like this, right? Because we have that belief. And there's a quote that I heard in a book a while ago, and it was, I'm not who I think I am. I'm not who you think I am. I am who I think you think I am, which basically means I'm not truly who I tell myself I am. And I'm not even a person that you think you see when you look at me. I believe I am who I think you think I am. In the sense of, I can say, oh, I'm beautiful, but do I truly believe it? And you can walk past me and feel like, oh, she's such a beautiful woman. And it's like, little do you know I'm insecure. So you assume that I know that I'm beautiful. You assume that she must know she's beautiful. She must. So it's like, but I don't believe that. So I'm not who I think I am, because I'm like, I don't know if I'm beautiful or not. I'm not who you think I am, because I don't know that you even think I'm beautiful. Because you didn't say it. You just walked past me. You just thought it. So I am who I think you think I am. So for example, an analogy. I know it's a little confusing. Let's say you get your hair done, right? And you don't like it. You get your hair done, and you're like, oh my gosh, my hair is so ugly. You're on the phone with your best friend, my hair's so ugly, I look hideous, da-da-da. So you're thinking you look ugly, right? And then you're like, oh, but I have to go to this coffee shop because I told my mom I was gonna pick it up for her before I came home. And you go there, but you're embarrassed because you're like, oh my God, I look so ugly. Everybody's looking at me. Everybody knows I look ugly. And like, you're like, I just want to hurry up and go because everybody knows I look crazy. And the guy in front of you looks back at you and is like, hey, I'll pay for your coffee today. Or hey, you look nice, I want to pay for your coffee. So you like, oh, okay. So he walks out, and now you feel a little bit more confident. Like you kind of feel like, dang, he think I'm cute. Like maybe this hairstyle isn't as bad. Like I thought it was ugly, but then he thinks it's cute, so it must be cute, right? So you think it's cute. You think you're cute because you think he thinks that, right? Whole time, he told his friend earlier that day, I'm gonna do one good deed today. And so he saw you. He didn't even think your hair was cute. He wasn't even paying attention to it. You were his good deed. You didn't even know. He didn't even care. He didn't think you were cute. Like, he didn't think you were ugly, but he didn't think you were cute. That was just his good deed of the day. In the sense of, now you think you're cute. At first, when you didn't believe you were cute. I'm not who I think I am. And I'm not who you think I am, because he didn't even think you were cute. I am who I think you think I am. So oftentimes we think people care more about us than they do. And so we're constantly thinking, oh, they think this about us, they think that about us. Whole time they're thinking the same thing about you, about themselves. Oh, they're thinking about me, they're thinking this about me. And oftentimes we have limiting beliefs because we have this mindset of like, oh, well, this happened because of this. And if this didn't happen, my life will be this way. And I will have a better, if my parents were these people, if I didn't grow up in this neighborhood. But I often tell people about the burnt toast theory, right? And the burnt toast theory is the theory of that everything kind of happens for a reason, and not like that you should be happy, but like you never know how things could be. And the theory kind of is based upon, really quickly, let's say you're getting ready for work, you're about to be 5-10 minutes early, you decide to make some toast, you decide to grab the toast on your way out, you realize you burnt the toast. So now you take time thinking, what am I gonna do? So then you're like, okay, I'm just gonna try to scrape it off, so that wastes more time. Then you gotta throw away the other piece. You wasted all that time. By the time you get to work, you're late. And you're like, oh, I'm so mad, I'm late. If it wasn't for the toast, it wasn't for the toast. Little do you know, if you would have left your house on the time you're supposed to leave, a drunk driver would have hit you and you would have died. A lot of times we think things happen to us. Like we think people are like, we put ourselves in a mindset of, oh, the world is out to get me or da 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 da. Little do you know, some things, you never know what you don't know. So something could be for your benefit, but then also people aren't thinking about you. Like when I say people, even the world, sometimes it's not thinking about you, right? Let's say you're late to work. You're late to work, or you're almost at work, but you're about to be late. Somebody rear ends you, you're late. You're like, oh, this is the third time I'm late this week. I'm about to lose my job. Freaking the world hates me. Everything hates me. Little do you know, the only reason that happened because the person, not even worried about you. They were trying to change a song on their phone. They looked up too late and hit you. But if it wasn't you, it would have been somebody else. But we always assume things are happening to us. It's just us. It's just us. It's just us. And just like I said, the limiting belief that, your life will be different if certain things didn't happen to you, or if you grew up a certain way, or like I said before, it happened first and foremost is the past. And I think it's always easy to look at it in the negative terms of, oh, this will be different or that will be different. But like, you don't know what different means. So acknowledge where you are, acknowledge where you grew up, acknowledge what happens to you. Stop dwelling on those things and instead learn how to move forward from the things. Like, stop feeling like that's what's holding you back. If this just didn't happen, I wouldn't be like this. But it's like it did. So either you're going to take the responsibility of moving forward, or you're going to keep dwelling on it and stay where you are. But all in all, I don't feel like limiting beliefs ever completely go away. I'm not gonna lie, but I feel like anything I say in all my videos, it's just figuring out how to manage them, how to work with them, recognizing them and stopping them. But I don't feel like a lot of the things that we deal with will ever go away. All in all, like I said, I'm just learning how to deal with them. So I just wanted to help you guys with that as well. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you guys so much for watching. And also, if you guys feel comfortable with it, if you feel comfortable, what are some limiting beliefs that you feel like you have?